All right, so today we are going like way deep into earth science. It's way more than just some boring class you had to take back in school. It's like literally the key to understanding this planet we live on. And we got a ton of research, a ton of data, and I think by the time we're done with this deep dive, you're going to see the world in like a whole new way.
It is pretty amazing how earth science connects everything from a tiny grain of sand to the vastness of space. And we're going to unravel some of those connections today.
Yeah, for sure. And get this, by the end, you'll be able to tell the difference between astronomy and astrology, or meteorology and climatology, because believe it or not, they're not the same thing. But before we jump into all that, let's start with the basics. What exactly is earth science?
Okay, so it's kind of like Jock taking a giant X-ray of our planet and seeing everything that makes it tick,
Huh.
from the core to the clouds. And it's not just about rocks and volcanoes, although those are pretty cool. It's the study of the Earth's interconnected systems, the atmosphere, the oceans, the land, and even how those systems interact with life itself.
Oh, okay. So it's not just what's happening on the surface. It's about how everything works together, like a giant puzzle where each piece influences the others.
Precisely.
Wow.
And just like any puzzle, Earth science has different pieces
Hmm.
or branches of study. So we've got geology, oceanography, meteorology, and astronomy, each focusing on a different aspect of our planet and its place in the cosmos.
Yeah, that's what I love about earth science. It's so multifaceted. It's like having a backstage pass to the greatest show on Earth, but instead of a stage, it's our entire planet.
Ooh, I love that analogy. And each branch has its own incredible stories to tell. So let's start with geology. Think of it as Earth's autobiography. It reveals its history through layers of rock, the rise and fall of mountains, and even those dramatic earthquakes and volcanic eruptions.
I love a good volcano story,
Love
but
to
beyond the, fiery spectacles, geology also helps us understand how our planet has changed over millions of years, right? How did we get from a molten ball of rock to the continents and oceans we see today?
Yeah, you hit the nail on the head. And one of the biggest breakthroughs in geology was the discovery of plate tectonics. It's
Ah.
the idea that the Earth's outer layer is made up of giant plates that are constantly moving and interacting. It's like a giant jigsaw puzzle
Hmm.
where the pieces are slowly shifting, colliding, and pulling apart. And it's that movement that creates mountains,
Yeah.
triggers earthquakes, and even drives volcanic activity. It's a dynamic dance that's been going on for billions of years.
Okay, that is seriously mind-blowing. It's amazing to think that the ground beneath our feet is constantly in motion. Speaking of things in motion, what about oceanography? I've always been fascinated by the ocean. It's so vast and mysterious. What kind of secrets does oceanography unlock?
Well, considering that oceans cover over 70% of our planet's surface, there's a whole lot to uncover. Oceanography delves into the chemistry of seawater, the intricate patterns of ocean currents, and the incredible diversity of life that thrives beneath the waves.
Yeah, it's like an alien world down there with creatures we're still discovering and ecosystems we're only beginning to understand.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And it's not just about what's in the ocean, but also how the ocean interacts with the atmosphere and the land. Did you know that ocean currents play a major role in regulating Earth's climate? They transport heat around the globe, influencing weather patterns, and even helping to moderate temperatures. It's like Earth's own central heating and cooling system.
Wow, I never realized how much the ocean affects our daily lives. Speaking of weather, let's move on to meteorology. Because who doesn't love a good weather forecast? But it's more than just predicting whether we need an umbrella or sunglasses, isn't it?
It is. Meteorology is the study of Earth's atmosphere and all the dynamic processes that create our weather, from sunny skies to raging storms. Meteorologists use a combination of observations, data analysis, and computer models to understand and predict these atmospheric phenomena.
Oh, so they're like weather detectives, piecing together clues to figure out what the atmosphere is going to throw our way next.
You could say that. And their work has become increasingly crucial. As we face the growing challenges of climate change, meteorologists are on the front lines, tracking changes in weather patterns, studying the impacts of those changes, and helping us prepare for a future with a more volatile climate.
Yeah, that's such an important role to play, especially as we see more extreme weather events happening around the world. Okay, now let's zoom out from Earth's atmosphere and blast off into space with astronomy. This is the branch that really captures our imagination, doesn't it? Exploring the stars, planets, galaxies, it's mind-boggling.
It is. Astronomy takes us on a journey beyond Earth, exploring the vast expanse of the cosmos, and seeking answers to some of humanity's biggest questions. Where did the universe come from? Are we alone? What is the fate of stars and galaxies? It's a field that constantly pushes the boundaries of our knowledge and challenges us to think about our place in the grand scheme of things.
I love that astronomy makes us feel both incredibly small and incredibly connected to something much larger than ourselves. But before we get too lost in the cosmos, let's clear up a common misconception that a lot of people stumble over. Astronomy versus astrology. Can we set the record straight on this one?
Absolutely. Astronomy, as we've discussed, is a science. It's based on observation, experimentation, and the rigorous application of the scientific method. It's about understanding the physical laws that govern the universe and using that knowledge to make predictions and test theories.
Okay, so astronomy is the science. Astrology, on the other hand.
Astrology is, it delves into the belief that the positions of celestial objects influence human affairs and personality traits. And while it has a long and rich history, it's not considered a scientific discipline.
Gotcha. So one is based on scientific evidence. The other is more of a belief system. It's important to know the difference, especially when you're navigating the world of information out there. Okay, let's tackle another point of confusion. Meteorology versus climatology. They both deal with the atmosphere, right? So what's the key distinction?
That's a great question. Think of it like this. Meteorology is like checking the weather app to see if you need a jacket today. It's focused on short-term weather forecasts and understanding those like immediate atmospheric conditions that impact our daily lives.
Oh, okay. So it's like the daily snapshot of the atmosphere, right?
Right.
What about climatology then?
Climatology is a long-range forecast. It's like looking at the entire weather history of a region and analyzing long-term trends and patterns. Climatologists study things like average temperatures, precipitation patterns, and how these have changed over decades, centuries, even millennia. They're looking at the big picture of how Earth's climate system behaves over time.
Okay, so climatology is like the epic saga of Earth's atmosphere, while meteorology is the daily chapter, right? And both are essential for understanding our planet's complex climate system and how it's changing.
Absolutely. And this is a great example of how the different branches of Earth science are interlinked. You can't fully understand one without considering the others. They all weave together to tell the complete story of our planet.
It's like they each hold a piece of the puzzle, and when you put them all together, you get this amazing picture of Earth's incredible history and how it's all connected.
Exactly. And that connection is crucial for understanding how our planet works and how we can address the challenges it faces, like climate change. It's about recognizing that changes in one part of the system can have ripple effects throughout the entire planet.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, we've covered a lot of ground already, from the depths of the oceans to the farthest reaches of space. It's amazing how Earth science connects everything. But before we move on, let's take a moment to appreciate the one element that sustains life as we know it: water. And wouldn't you know it, there's an entire branch of Earth science dedicated to studying this precious resource: hydrology.
Oh yeah, that's true. Hydrology is all about the movement, distribution, and quality of water, that lifeblood of our planet. It investigates the fascinating journey of water through the Earth's system, from evaporation and precipitation to the flow of rivers and the replenishing of groundwater.
Oh, okay. So hydrologists are basically water detectives, tracking down where water comes from, where it goes, and how we can ensure it's available for future generations. It's an incredibly important job, especially with the growing challenges of water scarcity and pollution.
Absolutely. And just like water connects every living thing on our planet, hydrology connects to all the other branches of Earth science. You can't talk about climate change without considering the impact on water resources. You can't understand geological processes without factoring in the role of water erosion. And you can't fully appreciate the delicate balance of ecosystems without understanding the crucial role of water.
Right, so it's like water is the common thread that weaves through the entire tapestry of Earth science. Speaking of connections, there's another branch that focuses on how life interacts with its environment: ecology. This is where things get really interesting, because it's about understanding those intricate webs of relationships between organisms and their surroundings.
Ecology is all about those fascinating connections, how plants, animals, fungi, and even microscopic organisms interact with each other and the physical environment. It's about understanding the delicate balance of ecosystems and how human activities can disrupt those delicate balances.
Yeah, it's a reminder that we're not just observers of nature, we're active participants in these complex systems. And our actions have consequences, from deforestation and pollution to climate change. Our choices can have ripple effects throughout the entire biosphere.
That's why earth science is so important.
Yeah.
It's not just about gathering facts. It's about understanding the interconnectedness of our planet and recognizing our role in its future. It's about using that knowledge to make informed decisions, to protect the delicate balance of life, and to ensure a sustainable future for all.
I love how earth science empowers us to be better stewards of our planet. It's not just about understanding how the world works, it's about taking that understanding and using it to make a positive impact.
Precisely. And that sense of responsibility and action is what makes earth science so relevant and engaging for everyone, not just scientists.
Exactly. You don't have to be a geologist to appreciate the power of a volcanic eruption, or a climatologist to be concerned about climate change. Earth science is for everyone who wants to understand the incredible planet we call home and our role in its future.
It's about fostering that innate curiosity we all have about the world around us. It's about rediscovering that sense of wonder and realizing that there's always something new to learn, something amazing to discover.
Yeah, it's like we're all explorers in our own right, uncovering the secrets of our planet and the universe beyond. And speaking of incredible discoveries, I know you have a provocative thought for our listeners today, something to really get their minds spinning. What's got you so excited?
Well, as we've been talking about earth science, I've been thinking about the immense scale of it all. We've zoomed in on the tiniest organisms and zoomed out to the vastness of space. But what really blows my mind is the concept of geologic time.
Oh, yes. Geologic time. That's something I think a lot of people struggle to grasp. The sheer vastness of it. Billions of years. It's hard to even wrap our heads around it.
It is. It's like trying to imagine all the grains of sand on all the beaches on Earth. It's simply beyond our comprehension. But what's even more fascinating is that geologic time isn't just some abstract concept. It's intricately connected to our lives today.
Okay, I'm intrigued. How does something that happened billions of years ago connect to our lives right now?
Think about it.
Yeah.
Everything we see around us, from the mountains, the oceans, the air we breathe, is the result of processes that have been happening for millions, even billions of years.
Oh, wow. So we're basically living on a planet that's been shaped by forces that were at play long before humans even existed.
Exactly. And those forces continue to shape our world today. The rocks beneath our feet, the water we drink, the climate we experience, they're all products of Earth's long and complex history. And understanding that history, understanding geologic time, is key to appreciating our place in this grand narrative and the responsibility we have to protect this incredible planet for future generations.
It's a humbling thought, isn't it? To realize that we're just a tiny blip on the radar of geologic time. Yet our actions can have lasting consequences for this planet we call home.
It is, and that's why earth science is so much more than just a collection of facts and figures. It's a story of interconnectedness, of change, of resilience, and of the incredible power of nature. It's a story that continues to unfold every day, and we're all part of it.
What a fantastic way to frame it. Earth science is a story that we're all writing together, and the choices we make today will shape the chapters to come. But before we delve deeper into the wonders of geologic time, let's take a quick break. When we come back, we'll explore what geologic time can teach us about our planet and ourselves.
Yeah, geologic time it really is one of those concepts that it makes you feel incredibly small, but also incredibly connected to something much bigger than yourself, all at the same time.
It really is. You know, it's
Okay.
kind of like standing on the edge of the Grand Canyon, like you're awestruck by the immense scale of it, but also humbled by the realization that like all those layers of rock represent millions of years of Earth's history.
Oh, that's a perfect analogy.
Yeah.
Each layer tells a story,
Yeah.
like a chapter in Earth's epic saga. And just like the Grand Canyon, geologic time can seem really overwhelming at first, but once you start to explore it, you realize it's full of incredible stories and mind-blowing discoveries.
So true. Okay, so let's dive into those stories. How do Earth scientists even begin to measure something as vast as geologic time? I mean, it's not like they have a calendar that goes back billions of years.
Well, that's where things get really interesting. They use a technique called radiometric dating. It's like a time machine for rocks. It involves measuring the decay of radioactive isotopes within rocks and fossils. So think of it like a ticking clock. But instead of seconds, it's measuring the decay of these isotopes over millions, even billions of years.
Oh, wow. So it's like each rock has its own built-in timestamp. That tells us when it formed. That's incredible. And by analyzing these timestamps from different rocks and fossils all over the world, scientists have been able to create something called the geologic time scale.
Right.
It's like a timeline of Earth's history.
Exactly. It's like a giant timeline that stretches back billions of years, marking major events that have shaped our planet, from the formation of the first continents to the evolution of life, From ice ages to asteroid impacts, it's a chronicle of dramatic transformations, incredible resilience, and the constant interplay of Earth's systems.
Wow, talk about an epic story. It's like a front row seat to the most spectacular show in the universe, unfolding over billions of years. So what are some of the most mind-blowing events that the geologic timescale reveals? What kind of stories are hidden in those layers of rock?
Well, one of the most dramatic events was the Cambrian explosion about 540 million years ago. It was like life suddenly went into overdrive, just an explosion of diversity. All sorts of new and bizarre creatures appeared in the fossil record. Trilobites, brachiopods, early vertebrates, the ancestors of everything from fish to humans.
Oh, wow. Wait, so all the incredible diversity of life we see today can be traced back to this one incredible event that happened over 500 million years ago. That's wild.
It is, and that's just one example. The geologic timescale also tells the story of the supercontinent Pangaea. Imagine all the continents we know today mashed together into one giant landmass.
Whoa, talk about a travel itinerary. But seriously, how did that even happen?
Well, over millions of years. The slow but relentless movement of those tectonic plates we talked about earlier, the ones that create mountains and earthquakes, they gradually brought all the continents together into this supercontinent about 300 million years ago. Then, over time, those same forces slowly pulled Pangaea apart, eventually forming the continents we see today.
So the world map we're familiar with is just a snapshot in time, just a temporary arrangement in this ongoing dance of continents. That's so cool, but it also makes you realize that Earth is constantly changing, constantly evolving.
It is. And the geologic timescale helps us appreciate the pace of those changes.
Hmm.
Some events, like mountain building or the shifting of continents, they unfold over millions of years. It's like a slow, almost imperceptible crawl to our human eyes.
But then you have events like asteroid impacts, those like sudden catastrophic events that can like reshape the planet in an instant.
Right. Like the asteroid that wiped out the dinosaurs 66 million years ago.
Mm.
It's a reminder that Earth's history is full of both gradual change and sudden upheaval, and that those events have shaped not only the physical landscape of our planet, but also the course of life itself.
It's both awe-inspiring and a little bit terrifying, isn't it? To think about the immense power of these geologic forces that have shaped our planet over billions of years, it really puts things into perspective.
It does, and one of the most important things that the geologic timescale teaches us
Yeah.
is the interconnectedness of Earth's systems. We've talked about how the movement of tectonic plates influences everything, from earthquakes and volcanoes to the distribution of continents and oceans.
Right, and how those changes in the Earth's crust can even impact ocean currents and climate patterns. It's all connected.
Exactly. And the study of geologic time helps us see those connections play out. Over millions of years, for example, scientists can trace how changes in Earth's orbit and the tilt of its axis have influenced ice ages and warmer periods throughout Earth's history.
Oh, wow. So those subtle shifts in Earth's position in space can have a huge impact on our planet's climate over long periods.
They can. And by studying those past climate changes, scientists can gain valuable insights into how our current climate system works and how it might respond to the challenges we face today.
It's like looking back in time to understand the future. That's pretty amazing. So how does understanding geologic time and the vastness of Earth's history connect to our lives today? Why should we care about something that happened millions or even billions of years ago?
That's the key question, and the answer is that. Understanding geologic time helps us see the big picture. It helps us appreciate the incredible journey that has led to the planet we know and love today. It helps us understand the processes that has shaped our environment, the resources we depend on, and the challenges we face.
Yeah, it's like having a deeper understanding of where we come from. It gives us a sense of place, a sense of belonging to something much bigger than ourselves.
Precisely. And it also highlights our responsibility to protect this incredible planet for future generations.
Because what we do today will have ripple effects that will be felt for generations to come. Just like the actions of those who came before us have shaped the world we live in now.
Exactly. And that's why earth science is so important. It's not just about understanding the past. It's about using that knowledge to make informed decisions about the present and the future. It's about recognizing that we're all part of this incredible story, a story that's still being written.
I love that perspective. It's empowering and inspiring. It makes you realize that we all have a role to play in shaping the future of our planet, and that our actions, no matter how small they may seem, can have a lasting impact.
And that brings us back to the interconnectedness of it all. Just like the different branches of Earth science are interwoven, our actions are interwoven with the fate of our planet. Understanding those connections, understanding geologic time, understanding the delicate balance of Earth's systems, that's what empowers us to make a difference.
It's like we're all holding a piece of the puzzle, and it's up to us to figure out how our piece fits into the bigger picture and how we can use it to create a better future.
Exactly. And that sense of collective responsibility is what will ultimately lead us to a more sustainable and harmonious relationship with our planet.
It's inspiring to think that by understanding Earth science, we can become better stewards of our planet, and that by sharing this knowledge with others, we can spark a wave of curiosity, awareness, and action. It's about empowering everyone to become Earth science ambassadors.
I love that. Earth science ambassadors. Spreading the word about the wonders of our planet and the importance of protecting it. That's a mission we can all get behind.
Absolutely. And speaking of missions, we've been on quite a journey today, exploring the vastness of geologic time and the interconnectedness of Earth's systems. It's been an incredible deep dive. But before we wrap things up, I know you have one more thought to share with our listeners, something to really leave them pondering the wonders of Earth science.
I do. And it all comes back to this idea of perspective. We've been talking about geologic time and how it stretches back billions of years. But let's zoom in for a moment to something much smaller, something we might encounter every day. A simple grain of sand.
Okay, a grain of sand, I'm listening. Yeah.
Now, think about that grain of sand. It seems insignificant, almost invisible on its own. But each grain has a story to tell. It might have been part of a towering mountain range millions of years ago, eroded by wind and water, carried by rivers to the sea, tossed and tumbled by waves, and eventually deposited on a beach.
Wow, I never thought of a grain of sand that way. It's like a tiny time capsule, holding within it a history that stretches back millions of years.
Exactly. And that's the beauty of Earth science. It reveals the hidden stories, the interconnectedness, the vastness of time, and the incredible beauty of our planet, even in the smallest of things. It's a reminder that every rock, every leaf, every drop of water has a story to tell, a story that connects us to the grand narrative of Earth's history.
It's like a treasure hunt, waiting to be discovered right beneath our feet. And the more we learn, the more we realize how much more there is to uncover.
Absolutely. And that's what makes Earth science so endlessly fascinating. It's a journey of discovery, of wonder, and of a deepening connection to this incredible planet we call home.
What a beautiful way to sum it up. Earth science is a journey that we can all embark on, a journey that opens our eyes to the wonders of the world around us and inspires us to become better stewards of this precious planet. And on that note, we've reached the end of our deep dive into Earth science. We hope you've enjoyed the journey as much as we have.
It really is incredible when you think about it. Every grain of sand, every pebble, every rock, they all hold a piece of Earth's history. They've been shaped by forces that have been at play for millions, even billions of years.
Yeah, it's like the Earth is whispering its secrets to us if only we know how to listen. And that's what Earth science is all about, isn't it? Like deciphering those whispers, understanding those stories that are hidden in plain sight.
You got it. It's about looking at the world around us
Ah,
with a sense of curiosity and wonder, and recognizing that even the most ordinary things have extraordinary stories to tell.
oh, for sure. So how can we tune into those stories? How can we learn to read the language of Earth?
Well, one way is to simply pay attention. Take a walk in nature, pick up a rock, examine its texture, its colors, its shape. Ask yourself, where did this rock come from? What forces shaped it? What journey has it been on?
Yeah, it's like turning a simple walk into a detective investigation. And who knows what clues we might uncover.
Exactly. And you can also delve deeper by learning about the different branches of Earth science: geology, oceanography, meteorology, astronomy. Each one offers a unique lens through which to view our planet and its place in the cosmos.
Right. Like learning about the different layers of rock and how they formed can tell us about past climates, ancient environments, and even the evolution of life. Or studying the patterns of ocean currents can reveal how they transport heat around the globe, influencing weather patterns, and even moderating temperatures.
Yeah, it's all about connecting the dots, seeing the big picture, and understanding how the different pieces of the puzzle fit together.
And once you start to see those connections, it's hard to look at the world the same way again. It's like a veil has been lifted, and you suddenly see the interconnectedness of everything.
It's true. It's a transformative experience, and it can lead to a deeper appreciation for our planet and a greater sense of responsibility for its well-being.
Yeah, it's like realizing that we're not just passengers on this planet, we're part of the crew. and we have a role to play in steering it towards a sustainable future.
Exactly. And that's the power of Earth science. It's not just about accumulating knowledge. It's about applying that knowledge to make informed decisions and take meaningful action.
Right, so whether it's supporting policies that address climate change, conserving water resources, or simply reducing our own environmental footprint, Earth science empowers us to make a difference.
It does. And it all starts with that spark of curiosity, that desire to understand the world around us.
So true. So keep exploring, keep asking questions, and keep diving deep. Because the more we learn about Earth science, the more we realize how much there is to discover and how connected we are to this incredible planet we call home.
And with that thought in mind, we've reached the end of our Earth Science Deep Dive. We hope you've enjoyed the journey and that you'll continue to explore the wonders of our planet.
Until next time, stay curious and keep those questions coming.